On today's Pardon My Take, we have Chargers head coach Brandon Staley on the show. Awesome interview, new football guide term that will be unveiled. You have to listen for it, but it is awesome. Maybe even we'll make merch for it. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but very, very fun interview. We have a little Adam Schefter dropping a bomb about the Aaron Rodgers situation. Tom Wilson fought the entire New York Rangers. Blake Bortles possibly the Packers. Fyre Fest of the week, and our first ever card. What do you call it? Card pack? Card and wrap? We're ripping.
Ripping packs.
We're going to rip a pack. We're going to fucking rip a pack at the end of the show, and whatever we get and we sell it, we'll then disperse it to whoever guesses the number correctly. Honor code. Was that confusing enough?
And I'll match.
And I'll match times 2.
Fuck, I can't do that.
All right, let's get into the show. We're brought to you by our friends at Coors Seltzer. There's nothing more refreshing than a Coors Seltzer. Not only does it taste refreshing, but every 12-pack purchased refreshes the rivers with 500 gallons of water. Now that's refreshing. Available in naturally flavored black cherry, mango, lemon, lime, and grapefruit. We are on a mission with Coors Seltzer to save the rivers, so we got a Coors Seltzer scoreboard installed right behind Hank. You probably see it when we shoot to Hank. The scoreboard is going to track the amount of cases AWLs and Barstool HQ drink throughout the rest of the year. The goal is to restore 1 million gallons of river water with 2,000 cases of Coors Seltzer. If we hit 2,000 cases, Hank will have to go fishing and prove he can catch a fish with his bare hands in the East River. AWLs.
No.
What?
You really slipped that in.
I'm
you
reading
slipped
it.
in.
I had
It's
Hudson.
in the ad.
I had Hudson in my copy.
All right,
You said East?
Yeah, East.
Okay, East.
Yeah, all right. You know what? We'll give you a shot at both. You can do Hudson and
Nope.
East.
Alaska.
Yeah, okay. So AWL's tweet in a pic of your Coors Seltzer with hashtag #LetHankFish. For every pick, we count as one case added to the scoreboard, 500 gallons. We're counting all the pictures we get and all the cases we go through at HQ, so go get out there and try it. Get Coors Light and Coors Seltzer delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart, or go to CoorsSeltzer.com/take to see where you can purchase Rocky Mountain Refreshment now in a hard seltzer. Coors Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas. Celebrate responsibly. For every 12-pack sold through 12/31/2021. Coors will purchase services from Change the Course to restore 500 gallons of fresh river water, max 5 billion gallons through 2021. Details at CoorsSeltzer.com. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Pardon My Take, presented by Coors Seltzer. Go buy your Coors Seltzer right now. We have a scoreboard ready to go. Tweet us your picture of your Coors Seltzer case with the hashtag #LetHankFish, and he will fish with his bare hands for a fish in the East River. Today
Of
is
Alaska.
Friday, May 7th. And I get, you know what, Hank? What do you got against the East River? There was a dolphin in the East River. No joke. There's a dolphin in the East River.
The Seinfeld episode, that one always strikes in my head. It's
When he went
disgusting.
swimming in
yeah.
there?
Kramer?
In a wetsuit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was fine. Nothing bad happened to Kramer after that.
I actually see all the times.
People jet ski in
Jet
there.
ski
That's
all the time.
That grosses
It's
me
very
out.
weird. It's very weird.
It is strange to see anybody doing any sort of activity in nature in New York. Period.
Yes. Jet skiing in the East River. I want to talk to one of those
That's
people. We should do it.
Elon Musk should do it on SNL.
Yeah, he should. He absolutely should.
He should also. What if Elon just at the start of the episode he pulled an Oprah and he just told everybody in the audience he was giving them $1 million each?
Ooh, look under your chair.
Yeah, look under your chair. It's $1 million.
It's a mini guillotine.
And then he had everybody just get robbed right as they left the studio.
That would be cool,
Get his money
too.
back.
I also would like to see Elon Musk. I mean, I don't think he has self-awareness, but it would be funny to do like a board meeting at, is it Musk? What's it, Tesla?
Tesla, the boring
That's
company.
Musk. Yeah, the boring company. That's what I was looking for, where they just reinvent things that we already have, like that time that Elon Musk tried to invent the subway.
You know, it'd be very funny if he just straight up announced that he bought the Yankees and then dissolved the Yankees immediately.
Yeah, or
The Yankees are no more.
what if he starts a show and he creates a super league?
That'd be funny too. I
Yeah.
like that.
And everyone's invited. Could you, if you're a fan of soccer, can you say no to a super league that invites everyone?
No, I don't think you can.
And that would truly be super.
And it should be countries instead of teams, and instead of club teams, they should play once every 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but U.S. doesn't qualify
Sometimes.
most of the time.
Most of the time. And when they do, they're not good.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, except for that time we drew against Portugal.
That was a huge result.
No, Spain.
No, we beat Portugal.
And we drew against Spain.
We drew against Spain.
Whew.
We just lose to Ghana every year.
Watch out. Soccer knowledge going crazy.
I could actually see him doing something where he injects himself with CRISPR technology, the RNA stuff, and makes himself part Shiba Inu to drive up the price of Dogecoin.
He better drop some Doge on Saturday night. See that thing go to the moon. All right. So we got a few things. Let's start with Tom Wilson. He fought the entire Rangers. PFT, you were there. It kind of goes to exactly what we were saying on Wednesday, that the problem is the NHL not having. They basically got like the goon is extinct in the NHL. The fighting has been phased out of the league. The big guys don't have a place anymore. Therefore, Tom Wilson is the toughest guy in the world, and he beat the entire New York Rangers roster. And I actually think for the Rangers, like if you go into that game knowing you can't beat up Tom Wilson, don't even fight him.
It was the best hockey game I've ever been to, besides when they won the Stanley Cup. It was so much fun in that crowd. So, like, as the puck dropped, everybody fought. It was a line brawl. That's what they call it in hockey. They have a term for it. I think that, honestly, like, forget about other sports, which should absolutely incorporate fighting. I think that's healthy. Workplaces should allow fighting. Like, if you get into a fight, if you know that fisticuffs are on the table and you can fight in the first 30 minutes of your workday, you'll probably end up having a more productive day after that. You're going to get all your frustration out. Like, Jake and Hank would probably be at blows right now after the ass whooping that Jake put on Hank in Stoolstream Stadium today. Barstool.
Did you just invent the plot to Fight Club?
Yeah. Except you should be able to talk about it.
Got it.
And yeah, you should absolutely. It was such a fucking fun game. But you're right. Tom Wilson doesn't have, like, he's the apex predator now.
Yeah, there's no counterpoint.
And listening to Eddie Olczyk between periods go through the list of the Rangers roster and just saying, this guy, he couldn't beat up Tom Wilson. This guy, Tom Wilson probably could have fought his way through the entire roster and the front office, which halfway doesn't exist anymore. And come out a winner at the end of the night.
Yeah, so to make it even worse for the New York Rangers, James Dolan fired the guys who were in charge of the rebuild, who all Rangers fans are really upset. And then the Rangers got fined $250,000 for criticizing the NHL. So essentially, the Rangers have played themselves so thoroughly, and it's hilarious because I honestly think if Tom Wilson had just been suspended for one single game, none of this would have happened.
Probably not. That's really all that it took.
Yeah.
And
I appreciate the NHL now giving us more of a, like, if you want to get real woke, the NHL only giving them a $5,000 fine was the greatest thing they've ever done because it kept the story going and having people talk about the NHL before the playoffs for another week.
Yeah, it was actually like they did not do this on purpose, but we're all talking about hockey right now, or
accidental
at least
geniuses
fighting in hockey. Which, I mean, listen, you can try to get fighting out of the game, but the game's better when there are goons going at it. Each franchise should take one player, their biggest player that they have in the developmental system, and just be like, listen, we're just going to work with you on MMA, on boxing. You don't practice hockey anymore. You're going to be a full-time fighter, and just have that guy stashed and ready to go, and have that guy at the end of your bench for every single game. It would have been very funny if they had just brought up a guy from the minors just to get punched by Tom Wilson.
They should have, if the Rangers really were thinking about how to really maximize the exposure, they should have just signed Jake Paul.
Yes,
have him fight him.
The entire thing was
Biz.
Or Biz.
It was so much fun being at the game, and because it was like socially distanced in the crowd, I think they're only doing like 10-20% capacity. There was enough space between you and the people around you that even if you were rooting for the Capitals, somebody else was rooting for the Rangers. There was no like threat of violence between the fans because you'd have to get up, walk a couple steps, unmask. It's like a waiting period for a handgun. By the time you get to the guy, you're like, you know what?
I don't want to do this.
I've walked up 3 steps already. I'll just go back to my seat.
Right.
But it was a lot of fun. A lot of people are saying that James Dolan now choosing to focus his attention on the Rangers is what's actually tearing the team apart, and that's why the Knicks are good right now.
Yep.
It's like a 3-year-old with a bowl of spaghetti in one hand and like a bowl of cereal on the you can only fuck up one thing at any given time if you're James Dolan.
Ooh, that's...
the thing is...
I would say that's not true.
He is...
You could definitely... a child could definitely fuck up a lot of things at the same time.
A kid could, but I don't think James Dolan is competent enough to fuck up 2 things at the same time.
He might... don't tempt him. That's a bold... The people who are listening to this show who are diehard Knicks and Rangers fans have James Dolan in their life are being like, fuck you, PFT. Do not give him a challenge.
Don't
test him.
I think that... So there was one other thing that the Rangers did that continued to play themselves. They ended up getting a suspension from one of their players for cross-checking, when he put a stick up into our guy's face. And so now like they've gone and hurt themselves more through the retaliation. And people are saying like, can you imagine if Tom Wilson did this? Has become the new. Imagine if Patrick Mahomes makes this throw. Everybody talks about it.
Or Ray Rice was suspended for only 2 games.
Exactly. So like you can take anything that happens in sports or even outside of sports. If it's bad, be like, imagine how people would react if Tom Wilson was caught doing this.
This is bullshit. All right.
Like when Jake Paul took Floyd Mayweather's hat. It's like imagine if Tom Wilson did that.
Dude, that was such an awesome troll move. I know that, like, who knows? At this point with the Paul brothers, like, you could make the argument, like, everything's fake or everything's fake, whatever. Taking someone's hat like that and just saying, got your hat, no matter how old you are, how young you are, whatever, like, you could be the richest man, the poorest man, whatever you are, that bothers you. If someone just comes up, steals your hat, runs away and says, got your hat, that fucking sucks.
It's so much worse when the person says, I got your hat.
Got your hat.
If you just steal the hat and it's like, okay, that guy's weird.
You saw Floyd naturally react. He was like, I need my hat back.
He's got my hat.
Yeah.
He's got my hat.
Get my hat back.
It's like if you steal somebody's hat and tell them they got your hat, that's bad. If you flick somebody's ear, that's also
Wet
pretty
willy.
bad. Anything involving the ear, really.
Dry willy.
Yeah.
You ever dry willy someone? That's fucked up.
He should have stolen his hat.
Pantsing someone.
Pantsing,
Dude, when there is, like, I'm going to come across very sophomoric here, but a pants, when you can get the underwear as well and the person's dick and balls flop out is the height of comedy.
Happened to me playing pickup basketball with my friends.
Well,
full pants.
Like if I were Elon Musk, if I really wanted to make everyone laugh, I would just go up and pants Lorne Michaels on air. Be like, hey, Lorne, I want to do a skit where you're wearing basketball shorts. And just fucking pants him, dick and balls flopping out. Funniest thing
I had to
ever.
drop my shirt like below to pull it down.
Like you bend your knees and like crab
it's
walk
so
over.
awkward.
Like if I could
Middle
do
of
like
the court.
a Kings of Comedy tour, it would just be people getting pantsed and puking.
Farting too.
I'm just describing Jackass, which I love. But
getting
yes.
pantsed as you're pushing somebody in a shopping cart into a tree.
Oh my god.
Comedy doesn't get any better than that.
It's the best. All right, so the other story we had. Adam Schefter revealed that he dropped all the Aaron Rodgers news. It was an accumulation of information, I think he said, on draft day. People are very upset about that. I actually think I kind of love it by Schefter. All right, I actually have a question for the big J in the room. Will they be teaching this course in Syracuse and saying, hey, this was wrong, you should have reported it when either you had all the facts or the first second you had any inkling of this? Did Adam Schefter break
I'll be
whatever
honest,
the HIPAA
I didn't see his
is?
tweet. I just saw you saying there's a potential of Blake going to Green Bay.
Okay, so all right, I'll explain it to you. So Adam Schefter went on the Dan Patrick show today, and he essentially was like, this has been brewing, which we all knew. Like, that was a fact. We all knew. But Adam Schefter said, I tweeted it on the day of the draft. Like, he didn't have to tweet it then.
Right.
He tweeted it then for maximum effect.
Sure.
Basically getting the entire world talking about the NFL. The entire world getting excited for the draft because, like, oh no, are the Packers going to trade or what are they going to do? So he sort of withheld information, but also it sounds like it was just like it wasn't one specific thing. He was just a ton of talk about Aaron Rodgers being upset.
also don't believe that this is true.
You think he didn't?
The timing is too much of a coincidence.
Of what?
Of like him just randomly accumulating all this information until it reached a breaking point on the morning of the draft.
Well, no, he admitted that that's not true. Like he basically said he decided to just tweet it on the draft day because it's the draft day.
So I guess he just took the risk of not being beat to the scoop.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, he said that he could have tweeted a week later, 2 weeks later.
It's like Rothstein does the same thing. Right when the draft started, he tweeted like Charleston Southern's hosting Samford.
That's a huge news.
But he picked that specific time to do it.
Then when he put it out, it was very funny to see like Rap Sheet have to jump on it and be like, yeah, I'm also hearing this too.
Yeah.
It was almost instantaneously like, no one man should have all the power that Adam Schefter has in the NFL. If he on a Sunday morning, if he tweets like Taysom Hill is being investigated for murder, Sean Payton will probably bench him that day because he's like, oh my God,
this is true.
And then Rap Sheet will be like, yes, I'm hearing he stabbed somebody.
Yeah.
Those are the rumors going
the one
on.
thing they do teach you is it's always better to be right than be first.
But it did feel like Schefter basically
tried to cause chaos.
Well, he tried to cause chaos, which I actually
He's the Joker. He is the Joker of the NFL media complex.
Yeah, and this is where the line. This is kind of the crux of my question, Jake. Is Adam Schefter's a journalist, but he also his job is to get people to watch ESPN.
Yeah,
right?
that
And
did both.
more people are going to watch the draft if they think Aaron Rodgers might get traded during the draft. So I think that was kind of what he was going for.
It worked.
What do we do here?
I don't think there's any Big J regulations that go against what he did.
I think you have to
Interesting.
stop teaching the "it's better to be right than first" lesson.
It's better
That's Internet 101. You be first.
Do they have a
No.
class in
Yeah, you be first and you be loudest, and that person ends up being right. That's new media, Jake.
Yeah, or do they have a class that's like the number one goal is to make money for your company?
Not when I was there.
That's what I would teach.
Yeah, there was comm law. I took comm law with like libel and slander. The differences. I think there's an ethics class. But
Yeah, no, everything that you're describing sounds a little too ethical for my tastes.
Yeah.
I want my insiders just straight up making up like fake arrest charges just to move the point spread in whatever.
Well, we have an
position they
insider that sometimes just makes stuff up and hits news half the time.
Who's that?
R.I.P. Leroy.
He's dead.
We
You
had.
just
That was-
incorrectly
Jake.
reported that my dog was alive, Jake.
That was libel. Or slander.
Libel
Libel
is
slander's like
libel's-
then and then. Who knows?
I'm pretty sure libel is written and slander is spoken.
Who knows?
so you
Who
slandered my
cares?
dead dog.
Have
Congratulations.
some respect.
apologize.
There's been too much dead dog talk.
Did
on
they
this
teach you
episode
tenses
already.
in school? Have or had?
Yeah, comm 101.
Pent versus
Com
pint?
101. Yeah.
You must have got an F.
Either way.
No. I'm going to stick up for myself. At Leroy Insider.
Yeah,
What?
that's true. That does still exist.
The
He
account
wasn't talking.
exists.
Yeah, he was talking about the account.
Yeah, I said the account.
Oh.
My grandmother's dead too. Would you like to discuss her?
Does she have an account?
I don't know. Maybe. She might have burners.
I don't think what I just did was bad.
I don't have any grandparents left. You can say whatever the
Last
fuck
tweet
you
from
want,
Leroy
Jake.
Insider. He's a fat dork. Hashtag the masters.
Oh no, he switched over
Bryson
briefly to be
DeChambeau.
the Bryson
handle.
DeChambeau tracker.
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. The
all
handle's
right.
still the same. I do think, as an owner of the Green Bay Packers, I kind of agree that they haven't surrounded Devontae Adams with enough talent, and it's probably time for Aaron Rodgers. I'm officially authorizing trade talks to begin with the Washington football team.
How gallant.
Yeah, so if you need a quarterback who can cover the spread against Tom Brady in the playoffs, Taylor Heineke's your man up in Green Bay.
Facts, which the Packers did not do against Tom Brady. All right, so the other fallout of this is that now it's rumored that the Packers are looking for a new quarterback. They only have one quarterback on the roster, Jordan Love, and obviously Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers refuses to play for them as of right now. So they're looking for someone else for camp. Blake Bortles has been floated out there. I think maybe a coach on the staff knows Bortles or has coached with Bortles.
Well, was LaFleur, was he in Los Angeles when Bortles was there at all?
Maybe no.
They
I don't
have
think so.
familiarity.
No. Someone on the staff. I saw there was someone did the linking where it's like this would make sense for this reason. I was
Blake
like,
Bortles
okay.
knows the Packers' system of making it to the championship game and losing.
Correct. So Blake is possibly going to be a Packer. I texted him. I said, please don't. Please don't. I've decided I'm going to choose friendship over rivals and hope that Blake finds a job in the NFL, and I'll root for him anywhere he goes. And what I just said is completely not true, but that sounded good, right?
Did he respond?
Yeah. I'm
What'd
not
he say?
gonna say it because I don't want to ruin his. He said, "Who knows?"
He didn't say no.
He said, "Who knows?"
So it would be
That's not what he said. He
it'd
said
be-
it may happen.
it would be
And I
very
said,
funny.
I'll root for you.
It'd be very
Not.
funny if Blake Bortles became like a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback after arriving in Green
Oh,
Bay.
so funny.
For the next 16 years.
One of the funniest.
No, I don't. But you didn't let me finish.
Yeah.
But Justin Fields was a little bit better.
Got it.
That whole time.
Hall of Fame plus.
Hall of Fame, yeah. First ballot,
Yes.
and then Blake
Blake's-
gets in on the
yeah,
second one because he's
right.
a gentleman.
Yeah, right. But yeah, that will suck. I don't know. Blake
The
doesn't want to go.
NFL
It's too cold. It's too cold.
Yeah, he doesn't know what snow looks like.
It's too cold.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Blake,
Come on.
Yeah, I want Blake to do well, and the NFL is a better league when Blake Bortles is in it.
Fact.
If it happens to be in Green Bay, and if he happens to just straight up ball out for the next 16 years, I think that's wonderful for everybody.
Yes.
We're protecting the shield, Big Cat.
Yeah, no,
It's good
I'm
for the
rooting for
league.
him. I'm
Yeah.
rooting for Blake Bortles, and if he goes for the Packers, I will root for him there. Not. Okay, anything else? We got a great interview coming up with Brandon Staley. Any other news we need to get to send everyone off into the weekend? I'm trying to think. Trying to think. And I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, and I got nothing right now. Anyone got anything?
No, it's gonna be a fun weekend.
It's going to be a great weekend.
I think
I think it's going to rain in New York
Summer's back.
again.
Yeah,
Do you know what
Summer's
sucks
back,
about,
though. Summer's back. I feel very excited about this summer.
Do you know what sucks about the rain in New York?
It's hot rain.
No, it never like fully commits. Like it's never like, and when it rains in the Midwest, it like rains. In New York, it's like just it slightly spits on you for like 3 days straight.
It's hot rain that you can sometimes confuse with the air conditioner drops. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you don't actually know if it's raining or not.
Right, just like I want my rain to like show up and fight me like a man. Rain, don't just do this little drizzle all day shit.
It just kind of like it inconveniences you.
Right.
It's the wet willy of precipitation.
Right, you can kind of be out,
It's
but
like
you can't.
annoying. You don't know what to wear. If you wear long sleeves, your arms get hot in the jacket.
Wet willies are really dry willies though. Do it. Stick your finger in your ear and then put it in someone else's mouth.
That sounds like something
It's very gross.
Marshawn would do.
Yes, it's very.
He
gross.
probably has done it. Oh, do you see Messier said that he knew how to fix the Rangers?
Oh,
I would love to see Mark Messier try to fix the New York Rangers because he's just basically saying they're not tough enough. So he would make the worst roster possible. He would like assemble a roster out of like monster trucks and blood.
yes.
And they'd lose, 50 games in a row, and then they'd win 40 fights. And he'd be like, see, we changed the culture here in New York. We're New York tough.
There should be a certain like a salary cap, but like a certain level of teams that have to be run by straight meatballs.
Yes.
Every league you need to have, and you can maybe switch it around every year to year or whatever, but there has to be at least 5 teams that are always run by a true blue meatball. And by the way, here's one other thing we got to talk about. Tony La Russa is getting just hammered right now. He seems a little out of touch.
He's in a bar.
Yeah, but no, he's behind the wheel.
Okay.
So he didn't know the rules to the extra innings, and everyone's flipping out about it. There's 2 things going on. One is I do think Tony La Russa was a stupid hire by the White Sox, and I feel for White Sox fans because their team is actually really good. 2, dude, no one knew that rule. No one knew that rule.
It's a weird rule.
No one knew that rule.
If you look at the statistical breakdown of how long Tony La Russa has managed in Major League Baseball and how long they've had that rule, of course he doesn't know it yet. That's like it makes up 0.2% of the time he's been in the league.
Right.
So you can't expect. Listen, you can get down to like the nitty gritty analytics stuff and be like, oh, Tony didn't know this or didn't know that. The bottom line is Tony is just there for one reason only, just to kind of like be a father figure. Like an absentee father figure.
Right. And credit to Tony La Russa for not throwing his whole entire coaching staff under the bus because that's their fault. Like, Tony La Russa is not there to learn new rules. I just thought it was funny because they were like, how did he not know that? I guarantee you if you asked, like, 100 baseball fans that rule, maybe 5 of them would have known it. Because I think it's this year. Right? I mean, it's part of
they
the.
put it in.
It's part of the
beforehand.
start. Yeah, starting at second base in extra innings.
Yes, and listen, it's called it's a manager, not a micromanager. You
Right.
don't get bogged down in the details. If you told Tony, like, hey, when the beer sales stop, that's when you start an inning with a runner on second base, I think he would pick it up pretty quickly. It's about knowing how to teach your guys the right lessons.
Yes.
More so than it is just expecting them to know everything.
And I like the 7-inning game. I like the new rule of starting on second. I know that a lot of people don't like it. I think it's better just because there's nothing worse than games going like 16 innings. You don't like it?
No, it's just a sack bunt and then a sack fly.
Yeah, but a lot of times it doesn't work that way. It's weird. I feel like I've watched
Small
enough.
ball, baby.
Yeah, but and then
And it won't matter for the playoffs, but I think it's
7-inning double headers. I like that. Except I don't know if they're doing this everywhere. I know they're doing it at Wrigley. It's a fucking abomination. The 5th inning stretch. It's terrible.
I don't like that.
It's terrible. You can't do a 5th inning stretch.
There's nothing to stretch from.
Yeah. You
That's
can't
just going
do a
to the
5th
bathroom.
inning stretch. That's stupid. So if there was a 5-inning game, you do a 3rd inning stretch? This
What's
is
next?
crazy.
A second inning stretch?
Yeah, what the fuck? Slippery slope. Were you going to stretch before you even come in?
How would you feel if college football did this for the regular season?
What?
I'd be
Something
very
that
confused why there were
basically-
bases.
Wait, what?
Like something where it's like you don't want to go into 6, 7, 8 overtimes.
Yeah, they kind of already do that with the starting at 20. That's their overtime.
And then you have to go for 2.
Yeah, that's their overtime. You have to go for 2.
Right, but what if they made it even more so where
Okay,
it's like
all right. You're right. All right, here,
Hank, did you-
I'm
you
gonna
started
meet
at
you in the
25, then
middle.
you
Here
started at the 20, and then you started at the 4,
Let
and then
me
you started at
correct.
5. Like
Let me correct what my initial take because I agree
You're-
with you
you're
here.
changing the game. You're
Here's what I'm
changing
saying.
the game.
Here's what I'm gonna say. You're right. The 10th and 11th inning should not be a player on second base. Once you get to the 12th, they should put him on second base. Fair?
Yeah, yes,
I think that's
yes.
actually where you're right. 10th inning, I'm cool with like play it straight up. 11th, same. But once you get to the 12th, just fucking get a guy on second base and let's get everyone out of here.
Get everybody home.
Yeah.
At that point, everybody in this, unless in the playoffs.
Playoffs totally different. No, playoffs
it
you
should just
never
be
have this rule.
Regular baseball.
Ever have this rule. A regular season baseball game, once you get past 4 hours, enough is enough, right? Enough is enough. Let's just move on.
Agreed.
All right, let's get to our interview, though. We have an awesome interview with Coach Brandon Staley from the LA Chargers. Credit to us for not saying San Diego Chargers. I wanted to say it like 4 times. Shout out our fans in San Diego. They don't listen to podcasts in San Diego.
No, my brother's out there. He does.
He
does?
We got at least one.
Oh,
right.
yeah, him and Mookie.
Yep.
I was going to say, though, if you're in San Diego, why would you listen to a podcast?
Well, I remember
sun,
when they
the
decided
beach.
to move the Chargers, we took a lot of shots at the city of San Diego and said similar things. And there were a lot of people that were just like, hey, I'm kind of mad because of what you said.
Wait, that's not a shot.
Well, we were kind of dancing on the grave a little bit.
When I say why would you listen to a podcast in San Diego, that is the opposite of a shot. That means you have a life and you go outside and play volleyball on a Tuesday afternoon instead of listening to us.
Right. No, what I'm saying is like people were halfway mad and then they're like, but then I walked outside.
Right.
And so I'm happy again.
So they proved our point. All right, let's do that. Before we do that, a quick word from our friends at Norton 360 with LifeLock. Hate doing taxes. There are a lot of people out there who would love to do them for you, but I'm not talking about tax specialists. I'm talking about cyber criminals and identity thieves. During tax season, your personal info, like your name and social security number, may be emailed and shared more than usual. Criminals can steal info from your devices and sell it on the dark web or use it to commit other crimes even years down the road. In other words, tax season is a great time to be a cyber criminal, making it the best time to protect yourself by using Norton 360 with LifeLock. This tax season, opt in to cybersecurity safety. Help protect against cyber criminals from stealing the info shared on your devices, spying on you over Wi-Fi, or stealing your identity. No one can prevent all cyber crime or identity theft or monitor all transactions, but you don't have to let cyber criminals make tax season extra taxing. Save 25% or more off your first year of Norton 360 with LifeLock at norton.com/PMT. That's 25% off at norton.com/PMT. Norton.com/PMT. Do it right now. Make sure that you are safe when you are on. We now welcome on a very special guest. It is head coach of the LA Chargers, Brandon Staley. Awesome to have you on, Coach. Let's start here. I was looking at your resume. It's insane, your ascension to head coach in the NFL. You 5 years ago, were coaching at John Carroll, and now you're the head coach of the LA Chargers. Have you had a chance yet, or is that something that might not happen until you week one, where you're like, wait, literally 5 years ago I was coaching at John Carroll University, and now I am the head coach, one of 32 in the NFL.
Yeah, time has gone by awfully fast. My son Colin's 6. He's lived in 6 states in 6 years. So we've been moving. But I think it doesn't make sense to a lot of people, this timeline. I think the people who know me well, it makes a lot of sense. At John Carroll, guys, if you investigate that place and who was with us at that place during that time, we had a really special run. We had a lot of awesome players. And then, the coaching staff that I was with, 5 of us are in the NFL right now. 3 of us were coordinators. Dave Ragone with the Atlanta Falcons. Frank Ross is the special teams coordinator of the Texans. Chris Shula, who's a great friend of mine, is with the Rams. Jonathan Cooley. So we just had a really special group of coaches there. And, I tell people, guys, like coaching at John Carroll is a lot more like coaching in the NFL than most anywhere in college football. It felt like that was an NFL environment every single day. And it's a place that's really shaped me. It's a place that's really close to my heart. And I certainly wouldn't be here without that experience, for sure.
I feel like you can say that about the entire state of Ohio. It's like everybody in Ohio is a coach for some sport or another. What's it about that state that growing up there just produces all sorts of coaches?
Well, I think specifically, I'm from Northeast Ohio, the Cleveland area, right along Lake Erie. So Northeast Ohio, that's just football is king there. And I think that, I was fortunate. One of my high school coaches, Bob Ridley, he played at Michigan for Bo Schembechler. And so I had a really, formative high school experience playing for a high school legend who, he's in the Hall of Fame there. And so I learned a lot of good football at a young age. And I just think that area has expressed itself at all levels of football. And I think, guys that I coached at John Carroll now are high school coaches, back in, the state of Ohio in Cleveland. One of my former players, Marty Gibbons, he actually announced the Browns' second-round pick at the draft. Gibby, I mean, he's a captain. He's a safety for me. I was kind of bummed out. I wanted him to, announce the Chargers pick, not the Browns pick. So, it's one of those special places where football is king. And, I was fortunate to grow up there.
What do you do in interviews that make it that people just have to hire you? Because you were kind of a hire from Sean McVay that people didn't expect when you went and were the defensive coordinator for the Rams last year. Then this year you get hired by the Chargers. Everyone's thinking Justin Herbert. They're going to go offensive guy. They got to find a way to push him to the limit. And then they hire you. So what's your secret? Do you have an Excel or something? What are you doing in closed doors in these interviews that's impressing everyone?
Yeah, I just think being a complete coach, I think that's something that I've always tried to be, is a complete coach, a guy who has command all three phases of the game, guy who can, lead, teach, inspire, a guy that has command over not just, the football side of things, but, just from like a management perspective, personnel, sports performance. There's so many components to being a head football coach. And I feel like, I've kind of invested my life in sort of knowing that, and I think that it's not just being a defensive coach. I played quarterback in college. It's, hey, my offensive background is a big reason why I'm here today. And then knowing that the kicking game is one of the most important aspects of winning and losing an NFL football game, and how you have to build a team that can stand the test of time. And how do you put that team together, and then how can you teach? How can you motivate? How can you inspire? Do you have the pulse of your team? How do you do that? You got to know that, coaching an offensive lineman in his 12th year is not the same coaching an offensive lineman in his first year. And, I think that what I've tried to be is a complete coach, learn as much as I can about the game, and then also know that I don't know it all, guys. I don't know it all. And being willing to, try to, surround myself with really special people that can help fill in the gaps, and, also being a good listener. I think that, a big reason why I'm here is I've been fortunate to coach a lot of special players. You guys know in Chicago, I was there with Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks, Kyle Fuller, all these guys, Roquan Smith, Leonard Floyd, all those guys I was with at the beginning of my NFL career. They've helped shape me, to this spot. I learned a lot from Khalil. I learned a lot from Von Miller. I learned a lot from Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. And hopefully, those guys have really helped shape my game, and hopefully I've been able to help their game. And I think the other thing, guys, is we've been really good where I've been, and that's what it takes too, is you got to produce. And this is a performance league. And you guys mentioned I've been around so many great coaches and players that have helped me get here.
The answer, by the way, was the kicking game part. Any coach that's like, hey, 3 phases, hired. You forget that. You forget there's a third phase.
Do you call special teams we-fence too?
Yeah, it certainly is that. It's where everybody joins up together. That's why it's such a special phase, is that, like I'm in these meetings in the morning now, guys, and it's such a great opportunity to talk to a running back, and like, hey, guys, why is the punt the most challenging play in football?
Yeah.
Like, why is that? Well, I'll tell you why. Because it's the only play in football where you start out as an offensive player and then you become a defensive player. You have to block and be, responsible for all the protection phase from a schematic standpoint. And then you have to go cover the kick and become a defensive player. So, and the people that take a lot of pride in that and get the right people in the right seats and understanding how you bring people together, I think that there's an art in that.
I like that. Yeah, or if Jameis Winston's your quarterback,
yes,
then he's essentially like a special teams player at times too. Now that's actually a good thing that you just did, like being so passionate about special teams, because as a first-year head coach, you're going to get a lot of reporters trying to grill you after games, and one of the best ways that you can kind of just get them off your case a little bit is just pick like one guy on like the kick coverage team and talk in minute detail about how he performed his job. And then all the reporters be like, this guy's a football genius. We love him.
That's certainly one tactic that could work. I may have to, activate that. Thank you for I'm learning something from you guys.
Well, I was going to say, how are you with timeouts? Are you ready for that? Because that, just so you know, as fans, that's the number one thing that we get to complain about because it's the one thing that we can confidently say we're better at than the coaches, even though that's not true. Even that fact isn't true. But how are you? How would you grade your own timeout ability right now before the first season of your head coaching career?
Well, I certainly know how many you get, in regulation and then in overtime. So that's a good place to start. But I think that certainly I think the timeout part of the game, there's so many components to who is responsible for that decision. I think it's a team effort and making sure that, hey, you know how it is on offense sometimes where you may have to take one, late in the play clock, where it helps you, to take a timeout, or, hey man, this could be a time where, hey, I can be a sounding board for Joe and Justin, say, hey, it's better to take the delay here. It's better to take the delay and, hey, we'll live with the result of third down or whatever the case may be. And then, guys, I think what you guys are probably understanding, last 5 to 7 years is your analytics team, understanding time, score, situation. And it's not just the coaching staff, it's your analytics team helping you as well and really forming kind of a central command center where you've got open lines of communication because these, I think what's difficult, right, is when you're in the moment, man, things are happening fast. Yep. And in that isolated moment, you may not be ready, right? But when you have other people that are helping you, you certainly will be more equipped to make a good decision. And I'm hoping that that'll be a strength of our team.
Let me throw one at you real quick. You're down 14, okay? There's 4 minutes left in the game. You score a touchdown. You go for 2?
We're up by 14.
You're down by 14.
Oh, we're down by 14.
You score a touchdown. Do you go for 2? 4 minutes left.
Well, the analytics would tell you to do it.
There we go. All right. I like you because that's really the only analytics thing I understand. So it's the only thing it's the only thing I'll criticize you about if you screw that up. So just don't screw that one up, okay?
The thing about it, that was kind of a pressure-packed moment because I think the one thing that I've learned, guys, because I think you got to be open about this. The one thing I've learned is like, hey, winning the game in regulation, right? Because there's that, hey, play for a tie, or hey, we want to win this game in regulation. I think there's that movement that I think more people are aware of now. And, I'm certainly, sort of one of those people that have learned a lot, since I've come to the NFL.
Well, you can always go for 2 the second time if you miss it the first time.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
That's really high level
That's what
thinking
people don't
that we possess over here.
The whole math thing, guys.
Numbers. Quick pop quiz. What's 11 personnel?
Ooh.
Oh, wow. That would be, so the first digit tells you how many backs are in the game. The second one tells you how many tight ends are in the game. So
you know your stuff.
Yeah, you do know your stuff.
I can see. I want to hire you now.
By process of elimination, there's 5 eligible receivers.
Well,
right?
all right, now you're getting too complicated.
No, too far.
We got the
You
tight
got to
end.
know how to coach the dumb guys, okay?
Have you considered to kind of like get yourself in the right mindset to call the timeouts at the right time, just playing a shitload of Madden this offseason, just like forcing yourself to be in those late game situations?
Well, I think gaming is certainly one way of doing it. You see that a lot in like sort of the defense, department. There's sort of those simulators, right, that they go through. So I think anything that can give you an advantage. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to create like the situation room here in the springtime where we kind of, isolate, hey, 2 minute and a half, right? The clock rules are different, 2 minute end a game. Well, hey, let's just look at 2 minute and a half, right? And, what's the context? +3, -3, are we down? Are we ahead? Are we even? And just going through that a bunch, right? And so putting yourself in that mode. And I think as many times as you can go through that is a positive thing, because that's how we want our environment to be here. I think that's what I've tried to create, is that, hey, we're trying to make as many decisions every day as possible so that, hey, if it doesn't go well, we can learn from them. But if you create an environment where people aren't like forced to operate like that, then when the game happens, you're not going to be ready. So hopefully it'll express itself in the fall as being, something that works for us.
Yeah.
So you feel free to get nerdy on this one, football nerdy, but I'm very curious. Vic Fangio, he has been a great defensive coordinator. He's obviously a good coach with the Broncos. He is, if you read about your rise and how you got linked up with Sean McVay, part of that was the Bears-Rams game in 2018 when the Bears were able to shut down the Rams, and Sean looked around and was like, Vic Fangio always gives me the most trouble. What is it about him as a coach, or what does he do differently that he's been able to have so much success, whether it be 49ers, Bears, Broncos, defense, when it's such an offensive league now?
Yeah, Vic's special to me. As you know, we had a great run there in Chicago. And that night that you're referring to, that was a special night, and our guys came to play that night. And I think a big reason why is because they were ready to play. We were ready to play. We had a lot of good players, but those good players were ready to play. And I think that's a hallmark of Vic Fangio, his preparation, his detail. I think that, number one, he knows how to utilize his personnel. Wherever it is, it's been a little bit different wherever he's been. I know that studying him in San Francisco, one of the guys on my staff is a linebacker who actually played for him, Mike Wilhoit. They were a different team in San Francisco than we were when we were in Chicago, and then obviously he's gone to Denver and they're different. When I went to the Rams, we were a little different, but you got to utilize your personnel to the fullest. And then I think the other thing he does is he has a really global view of how to attack an offense. He knows how offenses operate, and he knows what can be challenging for them, both from a blocking standpoint and then from a coverage standpoint, like what an offense has to block and then what an offense has to see in a coverage system. And I think that we blend a lot of groupings, a lot of different fronts, a lot of different coverage systems, make these quarterbacks have to operate post-snap, where they're having to make decisions post-snap. It's a little bit blurry. They're not quite sure. This isn't a black and white team that I'm playing against. This is a team that's all the way in the gray. And that's how we want to play. We want to play in the gray area. I think Vic does a great job of that. And, the thing about him is his consistency and performance. He stood the test of time in the NFL for 30 years. And that's what makes him such a special guy.
Yeah.
I have to imagine that part of your interview process in that division was talking about how are you going to be the Mahomes stopper? How are you going to be able to shut this guy down? You have to play him so many times. Free piece of advice, make him roll to his left, right? Mm-hmm. Make him roll to his left. That's what every dumb person on TV says. So that's kind of what we repeat. Him. Yeah, make him uncomfortable with a four-man rush.
Yeah, rush him.
Yeah, rush
actually,
him.
If you can
get a good pass rush.
Yeah, if you get home with two, that's actually even better.
Yeah. So what did you say in the interview to kind of I don't know if you were able to dive into details or what have you, but you probably had to have a plan in place for how you were going to slow down, one of the highest powered offenses that's ever been seen in the NFL.
Yeah, that was certainly a component of it. And I think that, the division I just came from, you got to play Russell Wilson 3 times in a year. You're well aware of him, and he's like a magician, and they've got that similar playmaking creativity. The down is never over. He's a champion, Russell. And then, obviously, Kyler Murray, you're in the division with him, and then the Niners. So I think that, kind of what I said was, people were saying the same thing when we were in Chicago with Aaron Rodgers, Stafford, and Kirk Cousins. Back then when I was there with you guys in that city, it was the same thing. It's just, this is the NFL. It's a tough league. It's a really competitive league. And what I told him in the interview is that it's not going to be a one-man band. Like, it's not just the defense that's going to be able to help us beat that guy. It's got to be a full team that helps you beat that guy. Like, the reality is Pat Mahomes has only been held under 24 points like 3 times in his entire career. So the reality is you better be able to score to beat them, and so it's going to take a team performance to beat a guy like that. You take a look at what Steph Curry's doing in the NBA. You know what? Like, Steph Curry's a tough guy to play against, man. It's you got to have a team, to beat that guy, not just one side of the ball. So that was a big part of me talking about, those guys. It's just, it's going to take all 3 phases of the game, and, we're going to have to be strategic and specific because we have to play them twice a year, possibly 3, right, in the playoffs. So, it's going to be an exciting challenge for us.
You mentioned Russell Wilson right there. Settle a bet, because this is a theory I had last year. I think you brought in Blake Bortles to be a scout team Russell Wilson ahead of the playoff game. Is that true?
We brought Blake in, and we also had this other guy named Bryce Perkins, who's a really good quarterback at Virginia. We had those 2 guys working for us. So we had all hands on deck. No one's ever gonna truly represent those guys. but I think those guys did a good job.
So last year, going back to last year and how good that Rams defense was, one of the hallmarks that you guys had was just how good you were in the second half. You guys just shut teams down in the second half. What does the halftime look like? Are you able to implement that many changes in a halftime situation and change? This is a really stupid question, but I'm always thinking, like, if you go in and you change a bunch of stuff, but they also change a bunch of stuff, how the fuck are you going to be able to keep ahead of their changes? So explain that to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
You make like a really good point there. And so, because that's a true statement, what you just said. So I think what we do is I think we have enough inventory in our plan that we can get to in the second half. Maybe it hasn't shown itself in the first half, but we can get to it in the second half, where it's not something new that we created. It's something new that we've practiced, that we're prepared for, that we can activate, that maybe they haven't seen. Or maybe there's something that happened in the first half where, hey, they're hurting us doing something. Maybe it's just, hey, we've talked through it more and we're just a little bit more certain about how to play it. And then I think that the thing that I've tried to do when we go in is get the feedback from the guys, what they're comfortable with. And when you have strong relationships, you can talk through things quickly, because what people don't understand, guys, when you go in there, it's not like you have all this time to sort of big time powwow and like, hey, fellas, like, let's get a coffee, sit down, like have a seat. We're nice and neat. Okay. It doesn't really work like that. You have to move quickly. So I think the thing about adjustments, guys, is that it really reflects the command your coaches and players have with the plan, and the trust and relationships that you have, because that's what adjustments are about to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to get back to Coach Staley in a second. Before we do, I want to talk to you guys about our good friends at Roman and their Roman swipes. Most guys have tried different ways to last longer in bed, but thinking about baseball doesn't always work. The folks at Roman, an online men's health company, are changing the game with Roman swipes. It's the secret to longer lasting sex. Roman swipes are a clinically proven way to last longer in bed. They're effective, they're easy to use, they're fast acting, but they don't require a prescription. Roman can ship swipes to you in discreet, unmarked packaging, and each swipes packet is small enough to hide in your wallet for whenever you need it. They're super easy to use. You just take the swipes out, you swipe it on, you let it dry, and then you're good to go. That's it. So go to getroman.com/take. You can get your first month of swipes for just $5 when you choose a monthly plan. That's getroman.com/take. Now here's more Coach Staley. Have you thought about bringing Boltman back?
Yeah. Do you know
I
who
haven't
that is?
given that a lot of
Do you know who
Yeah.
Boltman is?
I would be lying if I
Okay.
said yes.
All right.
Okay,
So
that's okay,
you've
that's
probably
okay.
given it no thought then,
Yeah.
because we can educate you real quick. Boltman was the unofficial mascot, the super fan of the San Diego Chargers. He was just a guy that had a giant lightning bolt for a head.
No, that's not just what he was.
He had a whole. He was immersed. It was
Yes.
like an immersive experience for him, where he became a bolt of lightning wearing shoulder pads.
Yes.
Very unfortunately, he is abandoned.
He's retired.
He's retired himself, but I feel like it would be good for the franchise, for the morale of the franchise, as it's kind of establishing a home there in Los Angeles, if you brought Boltman back, or at least extended an olive branch to him and welcomed him to the team facility.
Yeah. It's pretty much what's your super fan outreach program look like?
Yeah.
I think the bolt is such a linked, like, sort of symbol. Like, that thing, I think, has got a lot of weight in terms of, I really think that there's power in that. And you mentioned a key word, which is so crucial to football success, which is morale. Mm-hmm. You can never have enough of it. So however we can increase our morale, I mean, I'm talking in the littlest way possible. We're looking to add that edge. So the mascot could be a huge deal.
Yeah.
Boltman, if you're listening, now is the time to strike.
Yeah, and I don't want. Listen. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. He's not a mascot. He's a super fan. Big difference. Okay.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah, I mean, he showed up to City Hall and tried to keep the team in San Diego. One of the greatest pictures of all time, in full Boltman regalia.
And also, mascots get paid.
Yeah.
Super fans do it for the love
of
of
the game.
Yep.
Right.
Volunteer spirit is much different than a mercenary.
Yes, exactly. Have you thought, one of my favorite things that happens every year, we haven't had it because of COVID in the last 2 years, but every year when the NFL coaches go to the owners meeting and they take a picture looking into the sun and I break it down, have you thought about that picture yet? Because I'm sure you've seen the picture. Have you thought about where you like? Because I can give you some tips. Like guys will squeeze you out. There's weird spots that you'd be, whether you wear sunglasses or not. Have you thought about that?
I'm aware of that.
Okay.
Sort of give you a preview of what could be happening in the draft room. You know, I went with competitive casual attire.
Wait, what is that?
I love it.
Didn't want to go with the banker attire, so we went competitive casual.
Explain competitive casual.
That's just
Break
something
down
that,
competitive
that
casual.
a football coach made up. I don't
Yes.
think that's
To
natural.
wear
style.
sweatpants. Yeah.
Well,
wait.
it's actually in the lexicon.
Okay.
Right now of game day attire, but just essentially like, hey, this is like, we're a coach. I want these guys to be able to like look back on their moment, and it's like, hey, that was their coach calling them, not some guy that looks like, you know, he runs a hedge fund. So, you know, and then from the picture standpoint at the owners meetings, you know, it's in Arizona from what I understand.
Yep.
Like that's where it's been, which from what I understand, Arizona is a very hot place. I don't know if you're going to be seeing like a blazer and, you know, khakis.
Topless? You want to go topless?
That's
I don't
McVay.
Tits
think
out for the
that
boys?
either.
Sean.
I just think it would be you know, my attire will be, you know, indicative of the climate, and then my beautiful bride.
Okay,
you know?
so don't go Hawaiian shirt. That's all I'm going to say, because that's Andy Reid's corner. If you go there, I will absolutely roast you.
That's the opposite of being original.
Okay.
So,
All right. Yeah. Good. All right. Another nerdy question for you. So, you know, looking at, you know, you talked about it, Khalil Mack, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. Let's say Aaron Donald. What does it do for you as a defensive coach when you have a guy like that? Are you truly able to be like, all right, I don't even have to worry, like he's going to beat whoever's in front of him, and everything else like is built off of that? Or is that something we make up in our own head?
for the fans, like, you know, when you have a player of his caliber, Khalil, Vaughn, you know, Ramsey, whomever, when you have players of those players' caliber, it's a really sacred responsibility to get to coach them. Okay. So, you know, the amount of attention every single week that's in the plan for that player. So what we spend a lot of time organizing is how we can isolate this guy in matchups. Spend a lot of time organizing it, where as many times as we can, he's playing 1.5 guys, not 2. Right. And so the amount of time that we, you know, spend thinking about that, both in the run game and in pass rush, you know, we spend a lot of time on that because he's going to play well regardless, like you guys are saying, but it's how well. You know, what we want to do is we want those premium players to play their best for us, you know, and I feel like that's something that we've been able to do with guys like that. You know, Khalil, AD, you know, AD was Defensive Player of the Year. Khalil, I think, you know, the year we were together, guys, in 18, probably would have been the Player of the Year. He had not missed those 2 games. And then Ramsey was first team All-Pro last year and had his best year. So when you join up with those guys, a lot of it is collaborating with those guys. Hey, this is where we're trying to go with you. Can you see it? Do you like that? Are you comfortable with that? And so giving them that thought process so that they can go full speed ahead and do what they do. But knowing, hey, man, these guys have a plan for me. They're not just like telling me to go out there and wing it and go ball. Like, these guys really are trying to help my game out. So I feel like that's what we've done. And the players like that, you know, it makes sense to them right away how you're trying to use them, because they know where the production is in this league and when they get those ops. And so that's what we've tried to do with those guys.
That's an interesting answer, because it kind of is the opposite of what we as fans always think, like, oh, you can just let Aaron Donald go out there and ball. You're saying essentially like we are actively trying to always get him into matchups where he can ball to that extra level, even though he's that good. You are like let's get you on these one-on-ones constantly so that you will always get home. That's interesting.
And then the other thing I think, you know, the other thing that we opened up those guys' eyes is like, hey, listen, what Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey did for the other guys, the other 9 guys on the field. Like, if you look at the Rams this year, everybody was playing at a high level. You guys know Leonard Floyd, I mean, just signed a huge deal. John Johnson, right? Morgan Fox, guys that people haven't even heard of, undrafted guys, Darius Williams, Troy Hill, you know, Micah Kaiser, Troy Reader. You know, we had a lot of guys playing, rookies, you know, and so, hey, Aaron, Jalen, you can also open up all these ops for other people, because ultimately we want to play team defense.
Right.
We want to play team ball, and to be the very best, which we were this year, it's got to take everybody. It's not just AD, right? And when we were in Chicago, it wasn't just Khalil, it was all those guys, right? You know, it was Kyle, Roquan, Leonard, you know, Eddie. I mean, it was all those guys balling. So that's what you're trying to do when you're coaching the guys like that.
What about on the other side of it? Is there a player in the NFL, like we always hear defensive coordinators be like, this guy keeps me up at night? Have you actually ever been kept up at night thinking about an opponent's defensive player?
A defensive player or an offensive player?
Let's say defensive player, because that's what you always hear about. Like, this guy keeps me up at night trying to figure out how to manage him.
Yeah, I mean, there are. I mean, and that game within the game is real, fellas. I mean, just talk to like what's been awesome here being the head coach is you're in these meetings with Corey Linsley and Brian Balaga and Ode Abushi, Matt Filer, these guys that had to block all these like really good players, you know, and so you get this rich perspective, right? And so, yeah, there's definitely a bunch of guys that you can say, I'm a little careful about just, you know, throwing out one name, because then it's like, man, there's just so many other guys.
You're good.
Yeah.
You know, but like I think that what makes it special for the fans is, you know, who those premium players are, and that's why they get paid so much, and that's why people want to watch them. So
yeah,
good answer.
That was smart.
Good answer. You're smart.
Yeah,
you're
smart. Because you could have gassed one guy up, but at what cost?
Yeah, man, I don't want to do that, because I got too much. There's too many guys I got respect for. You know, that's just such a delicate place to be. So.
Yes.
I think that you're instantly one of the bigger football guys in the NFL as far as head coaches go. Just the fact that you dropped. Was it competitive casual? Mm-hmm. You've said the word opportunity several times. Ops.
Yep.
I like that. I feel like we're going in a good direction here in LA. You came from obviously like you can call it like a mini cradle of coaches. Sean McVay's staff. It seems like somebody gets hired from there like every other year. Does he ever wear a shirt, or is that just on game day? Is that competitive casual for him to just like hang out shirtless?
Yeah, everyone's giving Sean a tough time, man. The guy's in shape, man. He works out, you know, the guy. So, I mean, shoot. But yeah, I mean, like, besides being an amazing coach, I do think he has a fresh sense of what to wear and how to wear it. So I think that's always been a winning edge of his.
We like to make fun of Sean because we know him a little bit. We've had him on a couple times. We've, you know, run into him a few times at the Combine, and he did say, like, why are you guys giving me a hard time about my facial hair all the time? So once he said that, it was like, well, that was a mistake, Sean, because now we're going to do it all the time.
Oh, we're coming.
Yeah, right. You just gave us the playbook. I'm sorry.
I think it's more like he saw how bad my facial hair was, and he's like,
that's true.
He's like, this is the guy that's been making fun of my facial hair the whole time?
That is true.
I was like, yeah, and I'm 5'10".
I saw a quote that you had when you first met Justin Herbert. You said he's one of the guys. I think that's the best compliment you can give a QB. I love that. So have you talked to him about his hair, though? Is he going to grow it out, or is he going to keep it high and tight? Because we've come across a little bit of a theory that no long-haired quarterback has ever won a Super Bowl. So you might want to just get in front of that like right away.
I don't know. Tom Brady's got pretty long, you know, he's gone long.
Not when he won. That was when he was 17-0 or 19-0 or whatever, or 18-1.
You're talking about actually at the game.
At the game. Kenny Stabler is pretty much the only one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's separate.
Well, do you want to go to the game or you want to win it?
Coach, I mean, we all know the answer to that.
Yeah, everybody called me coach. I like
told
that.
This guy is that your hair is a tremendous asset, okay? And the fact that you can do either, I was like, does make you special, because all great actors change their look.
Yeah,
okay?
that's true.
All great actors change their look. So I was like, the fact that you you know, you have the hair, and then you know that you can go the other way too. I was like, hey, it's a great advantage. I think you're aware now of how people feel about it. I do think he is aware of how people feel about it. But the good thing that is refreshing about him is that he does not take himself too seriously. So I think that when I said he's one of the guys, I think that's also an element. Hey, you got to be able to take it sometimes and just, you know, just put that smile on, shake your head and be like, yep, yeah, you know, we'll keep it moving.
I like that. You can always take away hair if you want, but you can never just like straight up add it on. Yeah. But on the other hand, you can get tackled by your long hair, and it's completely legal. So it's kind of an advantage for the defense.
It is. That's a fact.
Yeah. I'm curious how you got into coaching defense to begin with, because as we mentioned earlier, you were a quarterback at Dayton. You came from an offensive background. I looked up some of your stats. You were a dual threat guy. You were pretty quick out there. So how did you decide that you were going to end up on the defensive side of the ball?
The coach who hired me into football, a guy named Joe Novak, he's the guy who kind of built Northern Illinois University. He was the guy kind of at the beginning of that. And Coach Novak is a huge mentor for me. He really he's a Northeast Ohio guy as well. But he liked the fact of taking a quarterback, to coach the defensive scout team. You're used to being in the huddle, and taking that lens and being able to kind of operate the huddle that way. And so he kind of had that vision for how he wanted, the defensive GA to be, as a guy that, hey, can make this clean operation so that we can run more plays, and then he felt like, hey, a quarterback is usually responsible for 22 guys on the field. It could be a really easy adjustment going to the other side. You got this perspective. And so, I just said, yes, sir, and got to work. But he's a guy that sort of had that vision for me and gave me that first opportunity, and just never looked back from it.
Dumb question. Do you get to decide what colors you wear every single Sunday?
I think I'm a part of that movie, yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm part of the production of that movie.
So, all right. So then the follow-up is, what's our strategy for the Powder Blues? Are we doing it only in special occasions? Are we doing it maybe getting on a run? I think most people would agree, probably the best uniforms in all of sports. You guys just had new uniforms released, but that is going to be a very interesting thing, probably the most challenging thing you'll have to tackle as a head coach. When do you bring out the Powder Blues, and how long do you keep them out?
Well, just really excited to have the Powder Blues because it's, the brand, right, is a big deal. And our team has certainly killed that aspect of it. As you guys know, our digital media team is awesome here too. So I think having relationships with our guys is also very important. Where are they comfortable? I think, variety is the spice of life. I do think that we have that variety, but you always want to have that staple. All right. Got to have it sort of uni. And I'm glad to say that the Powder Blues are a big part of it.
It's an opportunity. Having the Powder Blues
It's
is a massive opportunity that you got in your pocket other teams don't have.
Yeah.
So you got to take advantage of it. What about your personal game day attire? I'm guessing it's probably competitive casual, but do you have you figured out where you're keeping the challenge flag? Because now it's an important item that you have to be a steward of almost. And you don't, as a first-time head coach, like, you have to have that stuff thought through, like front pocket, back pocket, etc.
That's right. Probably back pocket guys. Not going to be the sock for sure. It'll probably be back pocket because you have the walkie-talkie thing that you want to have in the front, and then so probably back pocket. So hey, man.
Yeah.
Smart.
All right. Since we're at the stupid portion of this interview, I'm trying to get better as a gambler. I'm not going to ask you any questions about point spreads or anything, but I am going to ask you: do you own anything that could smash a watermelon, or do you ever plan on smashing a watermelon before a game?
The second part of that question, no, can't see that.
Okay, all right, that's actually all I need. That's all I need, because Mike McCarthy did that to me twice last year. He smashed a watermelon in front of his team, and they won both the games, and I bet against them, not knowing that. So I'm just doing kind of a straw poll. Anytime we get in touch with the head coach, I'm just going to have a sheet that's like, hey, this guy's going to smash a watermelon, never going to smash a watermelon. I'm going to put you in never smash a watermelon.
I think that's safe to say.
Okay. And if you do, I'm going to be really mad. I'll be totally honest with you. If I find out you smashed a watermelon before a game, I'm going to be pissed. I'm really pissed.
What you got to do at this point now is, after a big win where you cover a spread, you have to just say that you smashed a watermelon after just to mess with Big Cat. Like, it would honestly make my year.
It would melt me. It would melt me.
I will tell you, there's nothing better than watching you guys at the end of the game when something's on the line. These videos, I mean, the amount of emotion, I feel like I'm there. I mean, I truly feel like I'm there, and you guys are crushing it as it relates to that.
We wear our hearts on our sleeves.
I appreciate that, and I guess that's
March Madness in particular. Just that's such a key. I mean,
chaos.
Watch for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so that's a perfect segue to my last question, because I have to ask it, because if I don't ask it, everyone's going to be like, why didn't you ask this? Obviously, you're on the sideline for Cody Parkey. What was that like afterwards?
Oh, guys, man.
I mean, it sucked for me.
The hardest part is, I think, looking at a guy like Khalil Mack in the face.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, we felt like we had certainly the defense that could go on, a run. I mean, and I think the toughest thing is seeing those competitors, the guys like him, that man, just that heartbreak that's a part of sports, right? It's just, that's what we sign up for is sometimes it doesn't go down for you. So I think that's the moment that stands out to me the most, fellas, because I remember when it went down, just looking at him and man, what a great run. But it's like, for him, you wanted it so bad, and this year you guys saw probably Aaron Donald after we lost to Green Bay. You guys don't realize how much it means to these guys. And, I think that's probably what I'll remember the most. But at the same time, you go in the locker room, guys, and that's the bittersweet part for fans is when you go in there in the locker room, then it's that bittersweet part of it, knowing that, hey, we had a special run and you're really proud of everything that happened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. Yeah, you don't want to feel like you let a guy like that down. Definitely. My last question is just, do you get recognized in Los Angeles? Are you a star now?
I mean, guys, when I say no, not even a little bit. I mean, like, I might as well be, there's probably a lot of, analogies or metaphors I could use, but no, the answer is no. And that's, I'm excited about that.
Okay. So, all right. So we're going to just throw a challenge to our listeners. If you do see Coach Staley out there, just go up to him and be like, loved you on PMT, so that we can get you recognized for that at least. That's fair, right?
Could be. I'll give you some feedback
okay.
on that aspect of it. I seriously will. Me and Josh will get back to you on that.
Perfect.
I love it.
Because that's always our that's like the highest compliment we ever get is when a guest is like, yeah, I get stopped and people like mention PMT, and that we're like, that's perfect. That's our best marketing out there.
No doubt. It's like the pizza review deal. Like, I mean, like I actually, one of my relatives down in South Florida was just watching this guy and like went to that pizza shop.
Yeah. Right.
And it's unbelievable, guys, what you guys are doing for people. It's awesome.
We're going to get you noticed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's the same thing. I don't know if we want.
No, it is.
Get
the exact same
Coach
thing.
noticed. You're gonna regret saying this.
Yeah.
Because now people just go up to like any white guy with short dark hair
Wearing Chargers
gear
gear.
and be like, "Are you Coach?
Yeah.
Loved you on PMT."
That would be the greater question is how many they get wrong.
Yes.
Like that would be the
Yes.
more interesting data.
Yes. All right. Well, Coach, this has been awesome. Best of luck. And you're a recurring guest now, so we look forward to maybe talking to you in the future. And thanks so much for your time.
Good luck.
Big fans, guys. Thanks so much for having me.
Coach Staley was brought to you by our friends over at MVMT. He was born in a tiny apartment in Southern California. 2 college dropouts teamed up, and they made a watch company that broke all the rules with fair prices, unexpected colors, and clean original designs. Movement, MVMT, grew into one of the fastest growing watch brands, shipping to over 160 countries across the globe. Now Movement has expanded into blue light glasses. They protect your eyes from your screens. They have minimalist jewelry, and they have style essentials that won't break the bank, all designed out of their California headquarters. I love my Movement watches. I got like 3 or 4 of them. They've sent, I think, a few pairs to us over the years. One year I gave all my family bunch of Movement watches. They loved them. Mother's Day is this weekend. Maybe pick up a Movement watch. By the way, it's PSA. Don't forget Mother's Day Sunday.
Yep.
Don't forget it. Mother's Day Sunday. Hey, Mother's Day Sunday. Jake, you already know. You probably already bought your mom.
I already got the gift on the
something
way.
extremely nice. But it's this Sunday. Movement would be a great option if you want to get something for your mom. You can get a beautiful watch shipped right to your door for free. If you don't love it, you can ship it right back for free also. Movement watches have the look and quality of a $400 to $500 watch that you're paying for at a department store, but they cost a fraction of the price because they were built online. They own their own process from start to finish. If you want to elevate your look with style that won't break the bank, join the movement. Get 15% off today, free shipping, free returns by going to mvmt.com/pardon. Again, that's mvmt.com/pardon.
All right, breaking news. As we're recording this, Blake guy on Twitter, Garrett Savage just tweeted me saying Matt Nagy totally farted on the herd, and he has video. So let's play it. And you two are obviously the premier
We're experts.
fart on
Fart
air.
forensic analysis.
So here we go. I'm nervous.
Psychologically, you get into a season, you're 4-4, and you're thinking to yourself, I'm in a battle here. Psychologically, you get into a season, you're 4-4, and you're thinking to yourself, I'm in a battle here.
I don't know. Inconclusive.
Inconclusive?
I didn't even hear it. You got to send me the clip. We'll pump it in.
We'll have to check.
Show,
We'll have to send it to Law and Order. Ask VU.
Damn.
Not as conclusive
Really
as
get in there.
PFTs.
No,
Shut up,
I'd agree.
Hank. Shut up.
I'd agree.
There's
On
no
a
fart.
scale of not fart to PFT, that's a...
PFT's wet.
No fart.
Diarrhea fart.
No fart. I got dry farts, bro.
Oh, man. All right. Hank, your Fyre Fest of the week. And we're ripping packs, by the way. Oh,
Yeah,
by
I've
the
been
way.
looking at this all day. Can I rip mine first?
Yeah. So the
Before the Fyre Fest?
So obviously the football guy term that we're going to be going now with is what was it?
Competitive casual.
Competitive casual,
It's
which is when
perfect.
you and I was talking to a friend of ours who used to play for a team that Coach Staley coached on.
Uh-huh.
It's pretty easy to figure out.
I'm lost.
Yeah, who it is? He says he's a huge jumpsuit guy. So that's
competitive casual?
Yeah, competitive casual
Okay.
at all times.
I just love the term competitive casual.
Yeah.
Because it implies that like you're dressed. You could go to work, but you could also get into a fight with somebody on the street.
Yeah,
at
it's
any
like
given time.
it's like hardcore leisure.
Yeah, hardcore. It's khakis, but they've got 2 folds in them from carrying your tins of chew around.
Yeah,
all the
I don't
time.
even know. I think you might not even have to do it khakis. I think it might just be the type of it might be sweatpants with a zipper on it.
Uh-huh.
That might be competitive casual.
Joggers with a holster on the side.
Yeah, or like the joggers that are like, you know, at the bottom they have the rubber band that actually makes it like so it doesn't just flop everywhere.
Uh-huh.
That's competitive casual. That's all you need.
Yeah. Bulletproof romp hems.
Yes, there we
It's
go.
a romp hem, but it's got the plate carrier in the front.
Competitive casual. All right, you're ripping. Are we ripping?
Are we ripping packs?
I'm ripping. I've
All
gotten
right.
all trash. I got an RJ Barrett, a red one. I don't know.
All right, so we're looking for a signature. There's one signature in this pack. Ooh, CJ McCollum.
Ooh, nice. Ricky Rubio, Tyrell Terry, Cam Reddish, Juan Hernan Gomez,
This is great. This is great.
Kareem Prince.
People are like,
Ooh,
damn. This is
I got Big Cat's favorite player on the
Uh-oh.
sweet red card.
Uh-oh.
Chris Paul.
Ooh, nice.
Chris Paul, number
we don't
93.
respect him enough. Hank, I got a fearless Kevin Garnett. Timberwolves.
I got a downtown Kimba Walker.
Cam Johnson, Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay's still in the league? Wow.
I got
Milton.
our boy RJ Hampton.
Nice.
Ooh, I got an Allen Iverson.
Wait, you guys aren't gonna believe this.
No.
I got Melo. This is wild.
You got LaMelo?
Carmelo.
Oh,
come on,
that
that's
is
wild.
wild.
That's
And you
wild.
went to
That's
Syracuse,
wild.
and he went to Syracuse. Shake Milton, 131. All right, that was terrible radio.
But yeah, my Fyre
And
Fest.
PFC and I still have another pack.
I broke my foot playing ping pong, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna be 100%.
Pretty much.
It's
pretty
the
much broken foot.
Worst
It's
injury in
throbbing
baseball.
right now. I'm sitting here. I've been trying not to make noises and whimper, but I can feel it. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to take my foot off because it's so swollen.
Do you think it's Jones fracture?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go to the doctor tomorrow. I think.
gotta
Maybe even the ER.
Wait, this is the signed one.
What is
RJ
it?
Hampton.
Oh,
got a
hell
signed
yeah.
RJ
Yeah.
Hampton?
Hell yeah. Dude,
Congrats,
case
Bubba.
that thing. I got a Seth Curry prism. I think they're all
let's see.
prisms.
Yeah.
Prisms.
Patrick Beverly. He's
I don't even
good.
know. Oh, Blake, Pistons. Let's go. Let's put this up somewhere. We'll put this right here.
Tyler Bay rookie card.
Blake Griffin, Pistons. Ever heard of him? One of our best friends.
Genus. I got Genus at Anto.
Nah,
Kuka, that guy
trash.
Oh, Big
People are like,
Cat.
can you please stop doing this?
No, this will make it all worthwhile.
Oh.
Big Cat, we don't say this enough, but I love you.
Yeah.
And as a present for being here today, I have a Lou Dort card for you.
Oh, fuck yes. That's the nicest thing anyone's given to me. Thank you, PFT.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Big Cat gave me
I
a
did
deli
give you
earlier
and a
today.
Caruso.
And a Caruso.
I was just giving and a JJ Barea. I was just handing PFT all the white guys.
We
I
were
got a
Short
Kevin
guys.
I got a Kevin Herter for you.
We were in a meeting with the guy from Golden. Was it Golden Auctions?
Yeah.
And he was probably very confused because Big Cat was just literally handing me white players.
guys,
The
little
entire.
white
He's like, "Here you go,
guys."
PFT. You love this guy."
All right. What was your Fyre Fest? Oh, you
I
broke your
broke
foot.
my foot.
Yeah, you broke your foot.
Pretty much.
I think fully.
Have you tried drinking smart water?
No.
Or the Russell Wilson concussion water? With
I think I'm
the
just gonna keep my
nanobubbles?
shoe on tied really tight.
That's all you got to do.
Uh-huh.
That's honestly, if you never take your shoe off, you will not have a sprained ankle. I've definitely learned that from playing basketball.
You guys got to ask him how he broke his foot.
How'd you
Ping
break
pong,
your
because
foot?
it wasn't from the ping
Wait,
pong.
first of all, will you ever be 100% again?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And how did you break your
I
foot?
kicked it cooler.
And why?
You know how it goes. I was just
Who were you playing?
Doesn't matter. That's irrelevant to the
okay.
story.
Were you-
that has nothing to do with my Fyre Fest. My Fyre Fest is just about my foot.
Were you excited and you were happy and that's
Something
why
like
you
that.
kicked
Yeah, I was definitely worked up.
Uh huh. Yeah, sure were. I won't say the guy's name, but this injury, like kicking a cooler and hurting your foot, is a very somebody type of injury to have happen to them.
Yeah.
We got 2 names we don't say right now. So you decide, listeners.
Well, it's pretty obvious because
I actually am confused myself, so I don't know how obvious it is.
Well, it could be there's a nerd and a jock version of 2 names we're not saying.
Got it.
Voldemort.
And both could kick
The reason I'm
coolers.
here.
Correct.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, and yeah, both ways. The reason why we love you and the reason why you're here. This is now the worst we've
Okay, I got
just
it.
ripped cards and then just
That's a good point.
Inside jokes.
I don't. You know what?
inside jokes that we don't even understand inside this room right now.
You know what this is? So this is actually great advertisement for the YouTube channel. Because
Yeah.
like hearing us open
PFT.
packs of cards sucks ass, and I'm sorry that you had to sit through that. But you know what kicks ass is watching somebody else open packs of cards.
So someone hit me up on Twitter and said that we gained 4,000 followers on after we talked about the YouTube channel on Tuesday. And if at that pace we would hit 500,000 by July 13th, I don't think we'll hit that pace because that's a lot of people every single day. But
And the listeners don't have it in them.
yeah, they don't have it in them.
No.
We're not going to hit 500,000. We're not going to be able to do the live stream.
They're listeners. They're not watchers.
It's too bad. August 15th, 500,000 by August 15th. We will start doing different content that we can put up on the YouTube that won't be part of this podcast. So you might as well subscribe.
We'll
to
hold
get
the-
it when
How
it
much does it
happens.
cost?
It costs $5.
to Colin Cowherd.
It doesn't cost anything?
It's free.
It's free. It's free. But why wouldn't we want to get money from this?
Because then on the YouTube channel we can sell dick swipes.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So it costs
Get-
$0.
Get that dick swipe bag.
It costs $0. All right. PFT, your Fyre Fest.
My Fyre Fest of the week is, well, I've got 2. I'll just say it. I'll get in front of it.
You're
I
5'6".
am starting. where did that come out of? That was just unnecessary, Hank. I was telling you. I hope you have to get your foot amputated.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I hope it's real bad. I hope it gets infected like Jack Daniels when he kicked his safe and he died afterwards. I hope you die, Hank. Then I'll steal all your cards and your dog.
Hank, I also hope you die.
Okay.
This has gone too far.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't let me
Jake,
finish. I
you're
was
gonna
going to
get put on the
say,
die list
but it's
pretty
not
quickly.
you. It's Andrew Siciliano.
I'm not even gonna argue because I know how this goes every time.
That honestly, that 5'6" comment was more applicable to Siciliano, but also it was chuggy as hell.
I think
I
it
got
was
chug vibes.
No, I think that wasn't trying too hard at all.
That was chill.
Okay.
It's very chill.
5'6".
right, so what's
People
your-
are genuinely confused when they see me and I'm not 5'6".
Because you're 5'5"?
Yeah. Like I thought you'd be taller.
What's your
My Fyre Fest is I'm starting to get Team of Destiny vibes from the Washington Capitals.
Oh.
Because Cap's back. Two very
That was a highlight. That was a championship DVD starting
Yes.
Game last night.
The boys
It
in
was
the,
the
Championship DVD would start
box.
with, and the puck is dropped, and everyone's
Yeah.
fighting.
everybody was in the box last night. It was like a sick bar that you're now allowed to go back to in New York. It was awesome being at that game, watching like the guys just enjoy fighting other people. It got me going. And then TJ Oshie scored a hat trick on the day that his dad passed away. I don't know if I've ever told this story. I definitely haven't said it on the podcast. But the night that they won the Stanley Cup, it was the night that like TJ, he was like on the ice with his dad, and he gave that quote about like, my dad doesn't really remember anything anymore, but I know that he's going to remember this because it was like a magical moment. And he woke up the next morning remembering it. But he got on the same elevator I was in one of the casinos.
TJ Oshie?
TJ Oshie did.
Nice.
And right after the cup, he was like, he had like tears coming out of his eyes. He was crying, but he had like the biggest smile on his face at the exact same time. And I just thought to myself, like, that is a drug that will never be replicated. Like, if you're just experiencing all your emotions at once.
Yes.
So I've loved the guy ever since then, loved him before that. But
Captain America.
Captain America. I'm starting to get Team of Destiny vibes.
Okay.
From this, and Cap's back.
Put a little tickler file on it. I like it. I like the call.
Dan Orlovsky dropped the hottest cap of the year on us.
Yeah, that's got to be the end of that.
Well, once you got cool guys like Dan Orlovsky and Dave Portnoy getting
I was about to say
on the
Dave's
cap
talking
train.
about it on BFFs. It's
Yeah.
really.
no.
We're back, baby.
At least you were like a week early.
No,
Yeah.
I was like a month early at least, and now I gotta start thinking about another phrase. I'm thinking, now that's paper. I tried to bring back now that's paper a while ago. But I feel like the time's right.
Yeah.
No, that's
you go with bet. I like bet.
Too
soon, though,
when
dude.
when someone says like, "Oh, I'll meet you there."
bet.
Bet.
Lickety split.
I like that. I like bet.
Bet. Okay, I'll
Bet
do.
always sounds cool when
know what?
someone says that. Like, "Oh yeah, let's meet at 1:00." Like bet.
I'll try to work one bet and one now that's paper into next week's podcast, and we'll see which one sounds worse,
yeah.
and then I'll go with that one.
What about on dogs?
Oh,
On
God?
dogs?
On dogs.
What are you talking about?
What's the one I'm gonna start doing? What did you guys tell me I had to start doing? Big ups.
Yeah, what about one love?
No, I think on dogs.
out on
On dogs
this.
would play like it's like for real, like on dogs, on dead dogs.
Shut the fuck up.
On dogs.
Damn.
I don't like where
It's
this
a good
podcast is
phrase.
going.
On
Damn.
dogs.
Damn. All right, my Fyre Fest is I now am like laughing at like the dad humor. You see that guy went viral for his press conference? It's kind of actually like Joey Molinaro's, which are always funny videos. But talking about like a press conference after dealing with his kid all day, and I thought it was the funniest thing ever.
What do you say?
Well, especially when he's like, yeah, you know, we went with a snack 30 minutes before dinner, and then all he had was 3 bites, so that's on me. And I was like, yep,
Been there, done that.
I always try to go chips hard.
So you're
And then someone asked, like, is that talking about you or your son? I was like, dude, do you think that I've ever had a snack slow down my dinner?
you're fully into
I don't know.
into
Yeah.
dad life now.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay.
we
It's
got to
fine.
get you on
totally
those commercials where you go to the hardware store with the dad coach.
Mm-hmm. I'm ready for it. Except, no, fuck that.
Have you had any reflection on your snow day? I saw there was a lot of confusion over those.
No,
over
because
those.
I loved snow days as a kid. I was giving a zag. I said it beforehand. I was giving a zag. I was giving an
counterpoint.
alternate counterpoint for discussion.
You were playing
And then it
devil's advocate.
and it was distilled into this. I hate snow days. And then whatever. What can you do?
I'm sorry you hate snow days.
Once it takes course, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, the cat's out of the bag.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? And then Billy came. Oh, I can't say his name.
Oh,
He valiantly came out to working less, and I couldn't believe it.
I've
Very
noticed.
off-brand.
I've noticed that Billy is going out of his. I just said
don't
it
say it
again.
again, don't say it
I've
again.
noticed he's going out of his way to let us know that he's
Correct.
now listening to the
This
show.
He's definitely looking for extra credit. Extra credit given. There it is. Boom. Liam, do you have a Fyre Fest before Jake does his? Then we wrap up.
I actually do. I threw up yesterday morning, and
Are you pregnant?
no, just
Oh.
from like sinuses or something.
What?
Like, I don't know. It was like it wasn't even like a food throw up. It was just like I woke up yesterday morning and just like immediately was like I feel like I have to throw up.
Dude,
randomly.
are
Like,
allergies really bad right now,
Allergies
Jake?
are back
Yeah.
big time.
Okay, because I
yeah,
actually
but mine are much worse in Florida than here.
I
Mine aren't
had
that bad
I
here.
sneezed like 4 times in like 3 consecutive days, and I thought I had allergies. Then I remembered
Yeah.
I'm just an
Well,
alpha,
I
and I,
always
just
have
said, "Fuck
Zyrtec
no."
on me if you need. It's always in my
No, I
backpack.
said fuck no to it, and now I'm cured.
All right. fair.
But it felt like allergies. What it
Yeah.
would feel like.
It's bad though. The pollen's out there. ready
I think
to
it's
get ya.
it's just always good to have something in your back pocket that you can blame anything that goes wrong on.
Well, it's
That's why I lie and I say that I have allergies because
And that's-
if there's
yeah.
anything that's remotely wrong with my day, it's the pollen.
right. That's how the whole office got coronavirus. That time you came in and said it was allergies.
I came in and it was just because I stood next to a tree for 2 minutes, and then next thing you know, everybody was dead.
Yeah. All right, Jake.
Yeah. I was about 3 inches away from getting my head cracked open today.
Yeah?
In the stool streams
What?
room, the rock paper scissors table.
But you didn't.
Yeah, but the thought of it was scary, and it's enough for a Fyre Fest.
So now you're thinking like this whole time, what if I'm actually dead right now?
I
So
could be in the ER.
I almost
right
got
You
now.
on
hit by the
borrowed
subway
time?
earlier.
Yeah,
You're gonna start appreciating life more.
yeah.
It's like in Fight Club. Your next meal will taste better.
Did you watch Fight Club
Everything's
last
gonna
night?
be I went to the Rangers Capitals game.
That's true. You
Yeah, the
did.
table shattered, and it was very close.
Whoa.
I'm okay. Hank, gave me
You got a
little
pretty
lookout.
much broken skull.
Yeah.
You could be dead. How
Oh,
many,
Zyrtec commercial. What are the
Oh,
odds?
this
how many,
is
how many
Google
times
ad.
have you watched it back and been like, "Damn, I almost died there. Damn, look,
A few.
look how close I came to dying."
Few.
All right, that is our show. Also, quick shout out, our good friend Sam Schwartzstein works with Rachel, who's a big AWL, who's going through chemo and is just working her ass off still too. So she gets a shout out.
Shout out Rachel.
Shout out Rachel.
Fuck
Keep
cancer
fighting
up.
everything, yeah. And also maybe don't have to work all the time. I'm gonna give you a day off.
Okay.
Boom, Rachel, you get a day off. There it was. All right, numbers.
42.
8.
Jackie Robinson.
18.
Wait,
Eight. We
I'm
just
just going with 23.
81.
Hernandez.
Oh,
What is that?
I can't see
Show
it.
yourself, coward.
47.
Fuck.
47.
We've had that before.
DK.
Not our first time.
Chris Cooley.
See everyone on Monday.
4th.
Mountains
time.
are blue.
Parrots will selflessly help each other out.
Love you guys.
Great fact. Actually, oh, by the way, Jake, I want you to start giving us Big J facts. Like facts
like
about
about
journalism
journalists?
and
Okay.
journalists.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Plus the animal or just no?
Have one of each ready.
Yeah.
You got it.
Dealer's choice.
Love you
All
guys.
right.